Hi folks, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi folks, welcome back. We're going to see some reports on the unbelievable increase in crime. Just put out a story earlier today on 80 people that basically cleaned out the Nordstrom in San Francisco because the district attorney there, and I'll tell you the truth, I thought it was the city council and the district attorney. No, it was a referendum put on in San Francisco. Now, I know all about referendums because I used to be a city councilman back in the early 2000s. It's basically a change in the law or change in policy that the voters vote directly on in November. And they voted, the residents voted to increase the limit from felony to misdemeanor for stealing to $950. So they asked for this. Let's just watch a little bit here and watch these mental pygmies as they're so self-unaware of the fact that they're to blame.
Back in this country tonight, the crackdown, authorities growing increasingly concerned after a wave of what they call smash and grab robberies. Groups of people swarming stores, Nordstrom's and other high-end stores, and making off with thousands of dollars worth of goods. ABC's Kaylee Hartson with the images tonight.
Tonight, a rash of smash and grab thefts targeting retailers around the country.
We want to turn now.
Now, they're going to have these talking heads. They're going to tell how outrageous it is and how ridiculous this is that Democrats are allowing this. And I'm going to watch a little bit more of this, and then I'm going to lose my cool.
To the series of brazen smash and grab robberies on the West Coast. New details coming out this morning about a chain of coordinated burglaries that began in San Francisco over the weekend. NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson has the latest.
This holiday season, a cloud of fear hanging over the Bay Area.
A cloud of fear. Dun, dun, dun. Like I got the sound effect. Here we go. A cloud of fear is hanging over. No, you morons asked for this. You morons voted for this. What do you think was going to happen? That somehow, some way, you just give away billions of dollars of stimulus money for people to do nothing. They're going to go, oh, my life is so much better now. Now I don't have to steal to feed my family. Morons.
Consecutive nights of broken glass and stolen goods haunts some of the area's most posh shopping districts.
Get on the sidewalk!
The spree started Friday night in thieves fanning out from caved-in windows. Police flooded in, attempting to pick off perpetrators as they fled. One video shows officers bashing in a car, then making an arrest after dragging a man from the vehicle.
Yeah, he's got to give him a shot. Bashing in a car. You've given this police department, in most major cities, if not all of them, you gave them an impossible situation. And then you got to break their balls by saying they bashed a car in? Are you kidding me?
In all, 9 stores were hit. Police say at least 8 people arrested so far, with several weapons and thousands of dollars in merchandise.
So, Joe, while some of
Now, before I really lose my mind, San Francisco, I've never been there. I've never been to California. I live in upstate New York. The farthest west I've ever gone is Las Vegas. But my understanding is, I have a cousin that lives there. My understanding is that was one of the most beautiful cities, not only just in the country, but maybe even in the world. And look what it is now. This is just about the smashed windows and closed up shops. There are homeless people everywhere. Now we're going to look at these talking heads, especially in the bottom center. The Rev, they call him. Al Sharpton. I mean, if I called him a grifter and a race baiter, that would be an insult to grifters and race baiters. So let's listen what these hypocrites have to say.
these images, of course, are shocking to look at. They're absolutely not surprising to anyone who lives in San Francisco, given what's happened in the last few years there, which is the district attorney has signaled there, we're just not going to prosecute property crimes. We're going to do it at a much lower rate than it's ever been done. In fact,
like I just said, it's a referendum that the voters voted for. And by the way, the district attorney, if I'm not mistaken, is the son of Bill Ayers. Now, those of you that are older remember him. He is the gentleman that was part of the Weather Underground that was bombing buildings and anarchists that killed several police officers, who now teaches at a college as a professor. Wow, what a shock.
It will be a misdemeanor if you steal less than $950. That was a proposition, a referendum that passed in that city.
San Francisco is out of control. Portland is out of control. And you look, in part, you're right, Willie. I mean, laws.
San Francisco is out of control. Portland is out of control. You know who directly caused that? You. There's no indirectly through my news reporting, Joe. You did this from what you said and did and didn't do last year. You allowed this to happen all over the country. In fact, allowed it, I shouldn't use the right word because you're not law enforcement. You encouraged it. You said it was needed and necessary. All of you did. But Joe, you're on MSNBC, so you've had a little bit more influence. You and the mental pygmies over to CNN.
Have consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the thing, Joe, consequences. Well, what's your consequences? What's your consequences for lying your off just to try to plug up ratings and make money and get clicks? Now, meanwhile, you perpetuated this directly, not indirectly through, I work for MSNBC, so, the company did it. You did it directly yourself.
I don't know who sent the memo out that, like, over the last couple of years was a dawning of the age of Aquarius.
You sent the memo out. You sent it out. And so did all the talking heads here. You encourage people to riot and smash businesses and commit arson, all in the name of justice. You lied and said all of the protests were peaceful, were mostly peaceful. Well, if you want to use that criteria, then the riot in Kenosha on the third night with Kyle Rittenhouse, even though 2 people died of gunshot wounds and 1 was wounded in the arm, that was mostly peaceful. Even though buildings were on fire, dumpsters were on fire pushed towards gas stations, and all kinds of other craziness. If you want to use that criteria, that was mostly peaceful. Jesus.
And we actually didn't have to worry about crime and punishment, but we do.
No, you don't, because the bubble you live in. You don't have to live where the rest of us live. You could care less. You wanted to make sure that Donald Trump wasn't elected. Okay, you got your wish. What's that old Aztec saying? When the gods want to punish us, they answer our prayers. You're not indirectly responsible, Joe. You're one of them that's directly responsible, and that hat that's got the picture just below you. All of you, actually, but you're all grifters. You're all liars. You incite these things yourself personally. You put on websites to put bail money in to bail these people out. You encourage people to give. Don't say you didn't, because you did.
We do. And when you don't, these are the consequences, clear. And yeah, I know that for some people who have never actually held a job in the private sector or never had us run a small business, yeah, maybe they're cool with people stealing up to $950.
You were cool last year when billions of dollars in inventory and property damage was done. You were cool about it last year when dozens and dozens of people died. You were cool with it last year, not an issue. All of a sudden now that Trump is gone, oh my God, we have a problem. You're directly responsible. There's probably a good 15, 20 of you. You're on that list, Joe. Directly responsible. And now being the hypocrite that you are, you act shocked and you tell the mayors and law enforcement to get off their butts and do something. You got to be kidding me.
Of somebody else's, like, money or property?
Somebody else's money or property who had no problem with it last year during the mostly peaceful protests. You blamed it on Trump. Well, here we are. It's you.
Again, this continues. It is insanity, and it has to be stopped.
Yeah, it has to be stopped when all of you are put out of business and or fired.
Yeah, these incidents we're watching the last 2 days did not fall out of the sky. They happened because there's a permissive environment in these cities where we're not going to prosecute property crimes. We're going to...
And you directly caused the permissive attitude. If anyone last year tried to enforce the law, even the most minor degree, you guys were screaming, racist, 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 over and over and over and over and over. Ad nauseum. Here's the part, I think these morons actually believe they're not responsible. I really and truly believe that. And that's even worse. If they did it, they lied just to make money and ratings, I think it'd make them scumbags, but at least it would be a reason. These morons believe they're not responsible for any of this.
Let you do these things. And Rev, if you walk in, you know this, into New York City. I walked in a couple of months ago into a Dwayne Reed. The shelves.
Oh, Rev, you know this. Of the political figures in the so-called civil rights movement, this piece of garbage on the left is the worst grifter, con man that I can possibly think of. And that's an incredibly high bar. You can dig out interviews that when Al Sharpton flew into town to save the day from the evil racists, and there he was. And then when millions were paid out, guess who got a lot of that money? You did, Al. You did. Jesus, what a scumbag. Turn on your own people. When I say your own people, I mean black people. To pretend like you're helping them. But meanwhile, you got one hand on their shoulder comforting them and the other hand's in their pocket.
Were empty, and I thought, oh, is this a supply chain? They said, no, everybody stole everything.
Yeah, everybody stole everything. Unbelievable. I promised I would tone down my language. Probably, for two things. People have asked me to do it. Number two, the YouTube algorithm. But you got to be kidding me. These people act outraged. Outrage. It's like, what's that scene in Casablanca where the commander there walks in the casino and goes, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. There's gambling going on in here. Are you kidding me? Seriously? Unbelievable. Well, there they are. I'm torn between whether they don't even know how much harm they've caused to their own country and individual people by the hundreds of thousands, or they just did it for ratings and they did it for money. Frankly, I think it's more dangerous that they're clueless, that they're responsible for this. Absolutely clueless. And as their ratings plummet, I hope they all of them go bankrupt. I hope so. I truly do. Let the market forces prevail. Incredible. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.